What's up, guys? I just had to have a little space over here to do some old school static. You guys remember what that was about? I've honestly been self-censoring quite a bit because if I put out a video that they don't agree with, then that's it for a month. I'm not going to get any ad revenue. That's how they punish you. And hey, it's nice having my phone bill paid. But anyway, let's talk about what's really going on here. This is just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm just going to lay out the shit that needs to be said. What you're looking at are the people that own everything. This isn't some whacked out conspiracy. You can actually look this up, and BlackRock, Vanguard, top 10 shareholders of every single company out there. They literally own the world, all of the resources. And of course, they own these kind of companies as well that I'm not going to say, but it's something that's becoming increasingly required. Now, they really needed their people in the right positions here in the United States, and you can see the most popular inauguration ever here. But they had to have their people in here, just like Macron in France and Trudeau in Canada. They've got people loyal to the cabal in every high office of all of the major countries. And ever since they've taken office, there has been a wall around the White House. Now there appears to be a new concrete wall, permanent, being put in. And everything that has been in the nonstop news cycles, everything that has happened for the last couple years is laid out step by step in the rules for radicals. They are seriously just going step by step of the playbook here. There is literally a communist style takeover happening in this country. There, I said it. And everything that you're seeing in the news cycles is all a distraction from the end game, which is destroying the world economy through an energy crisis, which is eventually going to lead to a food crisis, which is the bad part. First thing Biden did was start shutting down energy production, coal and oil. Well, guess what? They're doing the same thing in Europe and creating an energy crisis.
And here what I'm thinking about is primarily coal industry and oil and gas industry. A lot of the smaller players in that industry are going to probably go bankrupt in short order. At least we want them to go bankrupt if we want to tackle climate change, right?
They say that was JoJo's pick for office, but JoJo isn't calling any shots. He is living in a bubble with a big wall around his Casablanca. And he doesn't know anything outside of what his controllers are telling him to do. He doesn't have any contact with any real people. His main job is to make the American public think that if they don't defund oil and gas, then we are all going to blow away in a storm. And she just said the quiet part out loud that yes, we want oil and gas companies to go broke. This is the end game here. Who are the biggest institutional lenders? The same people that own everything. Build Back Better is the modern day Bolshevik revolution. And they're doing this under the guise of CC. I can't use their catchphrases, but Tony Heller here is a legit climatologist who's been speaking out for years. I highly recommend his channel. He daily shows how they skew the information to make it fit their narrative. And the fact is, guys, the newspapers, the same internationals that owned all the newspapers 100 years ago that now own most of the corporations, were trying this exact same scam 100 years ago. 100 years ago, Glacier Park was going to be ice-free. Same thing from 2007. They were saying it would be ice-free in 2014. This is the same old scam of the invisible threat that they use time and time again. So just understand that that is the end game. And let's go through the rules for radicals, which is really just an updated, modernized version of the planks for communism. Number one, power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. Power is derived from two main sources, money and people. Have-nots must build power from flesh and blood. This is why I can't stand the direction that alternative research is going in right now, because now everybody is helping the powers that be by making them out to be these godlike figures with ultimate power all throughout the history of mankind. The powers that be today are not the same powers that were 200 years ago. So the people that are out there promoting the all-powerful controllers are literally helping with step one of the takeover of this country. In the real world, the have-nots are the most important people. And this is why you see them trying to make it where anybody can vote, even illegals can vote, because the poor outnumber the rich 100-1. This is exactly how the Bolshevik Revolution was pulled off. They convinced all of the poor people that, hey, the aristocracy is holding you back and you're poor because they're rich. You support us and help us gain power in this country and we'll make it all better for you. No, all they're doing is creating fear, uncertainty, and doubt so they can tear down the system that is in place in order to implement their new system. This is why JoJo ran on the Build Back Better scheme, because they knew that this fabricated crisis was going to tear apart the institutions that make this country what it is. Rule number 2, never go outside the expertise of your people. Once again, this is where the education indoctrination has failed everyone, because now most people are just trained enough to do their job and not actually see the multiple levels of things. But this is why they keep everything very base. Oh, he's a racist. Oh, he touched her inappropriately. They just attack people on a very shallow level so that everyone can understand what's going on. Attack everyone on their character and not on the merits of what they represent, which most people don't even understand that. That's why it's kept so debased. Number 3, wherever possible, go outside the expertise of the enemy. This is why the scamdemic was such a good plan, because they can simply say, oh, well, we had the experts on our side, and you're not a doctor, are you? But I still remember the people that think for themselves. The week that this all started, everybody was looking at the back of a can of Lysol saying, hey, it kills CV right here on the back of Lysol. And not only that, but you guys know all those little quizzes on Facebook, if anybody still uses that. But I remember back when I was on it, they'd have all these little quizzes, which friend's character are you, and this and that. Well, they may look fun and innocent on the surface level, but these are psych tests. And they knew exactly what percentage of the population would completely shut down if you told them, oh, you got to wear a mask and everybody's going to die. I mean, you remember the people in China just falling over dead in the streets? They knew exactly what percentage of the population would see that and say, oh no, that's it. Shut the door, lock it, and nobody come around me. Number 4, and this is the big one, make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. This is the whole woke movement out there, right here laid out in the rules for radicals of the communist takeover that's happening in this country. This is why the whole politically correct movement, because you set an unattainable precedent for everybody that isn't possible to live up to, and you make that the standard, and you paint yourselves as the champions of equality. These people don't give a shit about equality, about voters' rights. What they give a shit about is keeping themselves in office. And everything that is pushed by the media on all of these subjects is simply a distraction to keep your mind wandering on things that are completely insignificant while they dismantle the institutions that make this country what it is. Number 5, ridicule is man's most potent weapon. This one speaks for itself. Anyone who disagrees with the official narrative has a spotlight shown on them, ridiculed, and shown for the whole world to see that this is what happens if you disagree with us. And they're not satisfied until you've lost your job, your career, your life, everything. Number 6, a good tactic is one that your people enjoy. Now, nobody enjoyed the lockdowns, but they knew that they would have about 10% of the population that would just OCD kick in and full on support their regime and their tactics here. And that they could shine a spotlight on that little 10% and make it seem like they're the majority when they're nowhere close. Now, they kind of broke their own rule with number 7, a tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag, but you can already see the signs that they're already backpedaling the severity of the plague on the land. And all I can say is they must have something big planned to news cycle away from that. And I got a feeling that by 2024 there will be a false banner some event so catastrophically important that, oh, well, we can't even have elections this year because we have to handle this. They're going to have something big to transition away from this. Number 8, keep the pressure on, never let up. This is why it doesn't matter if they know that they're lying to your face and you know that they are lying to your face, because it doesn't matter. They're just keeping pressure on you. Okay, 1 mask. No, 2 masks. Oh, masks don't do anything. Well, you got to have a dose. No, 2 doses. Well, a booster and 2 doses. Oh, and look over here. A cop just shot a black guy. There's nothing but racism in this country. This country was founded on racism. Any and every little thing you can get to get people on edge and infighting amongst each other, they are going to keep pushing. Number 9, the threat is usually more terrifying than the thing itself. Another one that is self-explanatory. The common cold now is the most contagious, deadliest thing ever. This also harkens back to 2001 and the planes and the towers. There's sleeper cells everywhere. You're never safe from anything. All they have to do is plant that seed, and people will take care of the rest by adding to it with their own imagination. Number 10, the major premise for tactics is the development of operations that will maintain a constant pressure upon the opposition. They're constantly trying to come up with new mandates and new ways of bullying people into submission. It started out, well, okay, nobody will be required to have the shot. And then, oh, okay, well, only healthcare workers. And then any company with over 100 employees. They are constantly stretching the legal authority of their positions in order to keep the pressure on. Number 11, if you push a negative hard enough, it will push through and become a positive. Once again, this goes back to the OCD people that support these mandates. CV bad, but everyone getting a shot, that's a good. See, we're just trying to solve this problem that they created. Number 12, the price of a successful attack is a constructive alternative. This is just the Hegelian dialectic all over again. Problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem because they already have the solution ready to go. And they ride in on their white horses to save the day. And finally, number 13, pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. You can see this being done with every aspect of the population. Rich versus poor, black versus white, straight versus gay, a natural male versus a trans male. This is what they do with every single thing out there. And I want to just say that I spent a year in San Francisco, and it's the viper nest of this type of ideology. I walked away from there hating life, hating myself, and hating everybody in life. And, this doesn't go for every single person in the Bay Area, but if you do live there, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. They preach tolerance and equality to the point that they themselves are insular, because if you don't fit into their idea of equality, like for me, for example, a straight white male, I'm the devil. And I wasn't a Hillary supporter. So I'm the problem. I'm all of the world's problems rolled into one little person. When the truth is I was the most discriminated person against in that city. I'd speak my mind to people just like I speak my mind to you guys. And since I have my own ideas and I don't just go along with every damn thing that everybody says, then I'm the problem. This ideology truly is poison to a population, because nobody is ever satisfied with anything. Nothing is good enough for them. And if you have a different viewpoint than them, they will stop at no lengths to destroy you. They don't want a happy, healthy America. They want everybody just as miserable as they are. And the only reason that this communist ideology catches on with people is because there is no perfect system. Nobody has come up with a perfect system. So any system can be picked apart piece by piece and say, well, this is wrong with this. This is wrong with this. And it's all true. There are problems out there that government will never solve. But they can sure act like they're going to solve it. And it all goes back to the have-nots. It's getting the have-nots on your side to gain more political power so that you and your elite circle of friends control everything. And then everybody is the have-nots. So anyway, I've kept my mouth shut for too long. I got to start making some videos, talking out against this communist revolution that's going on right in front of our faces. And the easiest linchpin to take out to cripple this country and every industrialized country around the world is to tear down their energy structure or infrastructure. But anyway, that is what the plan is right now. So keep your eyes on the ball. And the more we are passive and the more we let things slide with what they're doing, the deeper in this hole we are getting. We have got to actively fight back against this. And a lot of people are going to have to learn the same lessons that I've learned and get to where you can go outside of your comfort zone and be a little more confrontational with people, because you're not going to sit here and nice guy your way out of this. I used to be the biggest pushover in the world, and if you guys have followed my main channel the last few years, you see I'm not like that anymore. I'm not proud to be an asshole. Oftentimes I'm ashamed of myself for the way that I've acted afterwards, but I am no longer afraid of confrontation, and I'm not afraid to stand up and speak for what I believe. It's not as easy as it looks, and you guys really should try it. I'm out.